So this is just a quick video to talk about what LinkedIn is. It's a business networking site for all kinds of businesses, and you create your own profile. And it's sort of like if you combined Facebook and Indeed, you would have something like LinkedIn, except they were one of the first big contenders for developing an online professional business network. So you create your own profile, which is going to be like a super advanced either resume or portfolio of work. And it's sort of like a miniature website, but the difference is the linking factor. So you have a way to get more traffic to this little website than you would normally be able to do. So what you do is you create your own little about section, and you also have a way to feature any important work or accomplishments. And it's very easy to do things like add articles or links or media. And you would just simply be able to toggle whatever you want most prominent there. Then it shows activity, so you will be able to see whatever is going on with your exact feed. People will be able to see that when they visit your site, your LinkedIn page as well. And from there, you also have experience, and experience is one of the most important parts because that's where people are going to be able to see, is this person qualified for what they're trying to do with us, or why would they want to link with us or whatever. So experience is you enter your own information, and you can have extensive information about it. You can provide additional skills about it. You can add additional media to support what it's about. And then 9 times out of 10, if you enter a company name for your experience, they'll have the company already in LinkedIn. And the more information you add in these things and all these little modules on their service, it's going to help you feed the algorithm that'll help you find all kinds of interesting connections. And that's what's also interesting about LinkedIn, is that you find many things you would never have even imagined you would need to know, because there's so much information available in terms of who's working where and what they're doing, how they got it, and all this kind of stuff. So after experience, you would list any education. Then after that, you can have licensing and certification. But there's also additional modules you can have on your page for your portfolio, and I'll show you that in 1 second. So here we have also skills. You can list certain skills you want people to know about. And then whatever pages you're following on LinkedIn, you can see that as well. And any of this content can sort of be modified to be hidden or more prominent as needed. So we have an add profile section, and we can see where we'd want to add additional information for people to know. Did we get a great test? Did we do a patent? Did we have special honors, etc.? And all that would show up on this incredibly cool landing page for people and prospective businesses or employers and or even colleagues to see. So the cool thing about LinkedIn is, of course, the networking capacity. So one thing is, right on the front of it, you have a feed. And the feed is just basically whoever you're involved with or whatever you're following. It's kind of similar to Facebook, the idea of Facebook, where you have this just long feed of people posting things that have occurred with them. And you can say, hey, congratulations. And every time you do that, it sort of puts you out there as well to become a person who's sort of involved in that world, which helps your image and your branding. So also you can see additional information, which is cool, about your how your performance of your posts is doing. So if I posted something, let's say I posted about something I said that was silly, not much engagement with that, but then something else I may have posted, like this remix that I did of Crazy. It got 63 impressions. And so from something like that, I can see if there was anything interesting from that, where did somebody in some specific location, which is not available right now, but sometimes you can see that information. Did somebody in a specific location check this out, like maybe in LA or whatever? Would they find it cool? Another way to get to that is through the impressions page, where it shows you what's performing the best. So I have quite a few posts, and some of them perform better than others. But again, you can do incredibly cool things like write a whole article. So here I wrote an article that's basically just my whole discography of all the work I've done with music. So all these are just musical pieces. And so it's another way to get people to come to that destination and see in one place many things you've been involved with. So back on this impressions page, we can see which of our posts is performing well, so we can kind of adjust what we want to focus on, or maybe do some other things or try some things. But for instance, I wrote a small book, and from this small book I got 326 impressions of people seeing that I've done this, and I can see some information about the companies with that, and then maybe some information about where they're from. So in this way, you're not just wasting time creating interesting content. You know that you have some engagement, which is one of the cool factors of LinkedIn. You have this analytical feedback that's baked into the system. So another thing is, when you enter all your information, you start networking, you get people who are pertinent to your field, and you can connect with them very easily. So if you go to things like My Network, right off the bat, it shows you things you may want to get involved with. And it shows you also a lot of times people who you may want to connect with. Who's the HR person at Titan Protection? Who's the student at Penn Foster? Who's the logistics analyst at blah 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 blah? You have a fulfillment expert at Target. Lots of different kinds of people work with LinkedIn, especially people who are looking to grow their brands and network and grow their network, and also just illustrate cool things about their portfolio. And in this way, you can follow business trends in your specific field. If you have a friend on LinkedIn or a link on LinkedIn, from that, you'll be able to see their connections, which is a very handy feature. And you can also choose like who's the first connection versus who's the second group of connections versus who's a more distant connection. So from her, I was able to see all these connections of her 490. And so we can go to 46 pages worth of people to see if we might be interested in connecting with them. And once you have a good connection, or just a connection in general who has a lot of links, you can just quickly click the connect button. And if they don't have the connect button listed, sometimes you can go to their page and choose more. And from more, you can also find a connect button. And sometimes if that doesn't work, there's another way to use what's called an message. And you can send them an message and ask them, would you please connect with me, please, please? So there's a lot of great features. Another thing about LinkedIn is they have a learning portal, because they acquired a company called Lynda. So if you type in linkedin.com/learning, and you're a member of their premium service, and you can get a membership for free for a month, and if you like it, it has perks of the LinkedIn Pro, which means that it'll add many additional pro features to your LinkedIn profile, which is kind of a whole different discussion. But anyways, you get access as a bonus to these free videos. So anything you want to learn about, you could quickly find, what about the art of photo composition? So you can see that there's a lesson here ready to go right off the bat, and it's 43 minutes. And once you complete the lesson, you can then add the certificate to your LinkedIn profile. It shows related lessons, so you could quickly become a master of this, art for photography or whatever. Anything you can think of, like business related, like Microsoft Word. It gives you an idea of what they have in terms of courses. It looks like they have 35, and they have the latest versions of it, of course. And they show, how many people have given it good ratings, and what, to get an idea whether it's worth your while. They cover a lot of fields here. They even have AI stuff. So if you want to take a peek at what's going on with AI, in fact, I think I saw 158 courses based around how AI is going to impact business. So you might want to take a peek, because I think you already get the idea that it's something's coming with AI. But again, it's another example of one of the many tools available on LinkedIn. And they have an additional thing here, like you can do some coding practice if you're learning a code based on this. In fact, I see something I want to save here. But you can, there's so many cool ways to grow as a professional with this service. For instance, as a composer, they even have our videos on how to create better songs or whatever. And I would take a look at that. They have a whole course here on spatial mixing. So that's a new trend that's happening. A whole course on managing your YouTube content. A whole course on understanding social media and why you should take that seriously in terms of when they say to enter what kind of metadata and whatever. All right, I don't want to make this too long. I'm kind of rambling on here, but we get the idea that you have a main page on LinkedIn, which is your sort of resume / portfolio, and then you have that feed, and then you have your network, so you can quickly see who's involved with you. So if I went to connections, I could see my connections right off the bat, which is really great, and then I can see who of these people I may want to have something to show them or maybe interact with them if it's something important, so I could easily message them, or I could, like I say, just find their contacts. And so there's a lot of incredibly cool features here. They do have that little feed that shows you some of the news that's happening in the business world as well. So there's a lot going on with LinkedIn. They also have a jobs portal, so it's a really cool. They have their any of the companies that work with them. They 9 times out of 10 they'll post jobs on LinkedIn, so you can quickly see that in the feed. And also the algorithm matches your information to see if there's things you might want to be apply to or be interested in. So you can quickly see what's going on with jobs as well. So it's a great place to try scouting out for things. But in my case, I have a very specific strategic application of trying to expand my musical stuff. So that's why I'm using it. But for other people who want to find out things about the business sector and all that, for instance, you could connect with somebody in administration who might be able to tell you something about a company you're trying to work for, so you can find a better way to approach, getting involved with this company, or more explicit information directly from a source who actually works at a company. And so if I type in a company name, listen, this is Beth Matthews of ASCAP, so this is an example of like how many incredibly prominent people they have on the system. But so for instance, if I type in a company name, like Affinity Pictures, I can go to the company's website and I can find out some information about the company if I was interested. If it was a company I was interested in working for, for instance, they have like Yamaha, West One Music Group. Every company you can imagine, they are on LinkedIn, just like they're on Facebook. But on LinkedIn, it's a little different because they are networked, so you can get to the people who work there. So as quickly as this, actually, because right now I clicked people, and I could search specific information. I provided immediately demographics. This is because I have LinkedIn Pro at the moment, but so I provided immediately more information about them, and then I'm also provided lists of the people who work there, so I can go to this person's profile. And if it was a place I wanted to do business with, I could try to interact with them. So that's really, really cool. And of course, you're going to be cordial. You're going to be very polite. 9 times out of 10, they may or may not have the time to interact with you, and they're not going to, be rude or anything. But don't take it personal. It's just like everybody's hustling away to try to expand themselves these days. So don't take it too personal. But it's a great way to try for additional links to the business world. And it's like a giant Rolodex, basically, with a lot of technological advancements to help you achieve things, and some pointers. Like it says, oh, I did 27 of 3 actions, so I did a lot of work to grow my sort of presence here the last week. All right, I'll leave it at that. They do also have a little messaging service and a little notification service, and of course, ways to tweak your profile. Additionally, they have some groups. So it's similar to Facebook groups. You can see what's going on in certain places and get more presence out of the groups. But I just want to give a basic overview of what's going on with LinkedIn and why it's come a long way, and it's really incredible service. Highly recommend it.